The Louisiana Christian University Wildcat football team gets a 55-18 win over Arkansas Baptist to improve to 2-0 on the 2023 season, and we're here to talk about it. Joining us on the set is the head coach of the LCU Wildcats, Drew Maddox. Thank you so much for being with us again.
Oh, it's good to be here, Al. Appreciate it.
Not too bad when you jump out to a 27-point lead and then just kind of go from there. Was this a team you really wanted to get out early on?
Oh, we just wanted to go play well, and I think that was just a product of playing pretty good football. So offense was really clicking very well, defense was playing really well, and just kind of got out on them. And it was actually harder than a lot. I told everybody it was harder. They have some really good players, and It was actually a little harder than I thought it was, maybe, but it was hard.
Yeah, well, I can understand. And you were mentioning on the offense, definitely saw more of the passing game in week 2 than we did in week 1. Was that a concerted thing that you guys were trying to do?
Yeah, so it was. We saw one high safety, and we kind of thought, well, maybe we'll be able to take advantage of some things that we saw on film. And so I feel like we did that. Sal had 4 touchdown passes, and he had 3 in the first half, and then I think he had 1 the very first drive after halftime, and then we set him down and got some other guys in and all that. So it was something that we could do, and we also ran the ball really well too. So we had it kind of going both ways, but it was something that we did, and Sammy Feaster and Jacob Goodnote got in on the action and all that, and we had some good plays in the passing game.
Yeah, for Sal, that was a career high, 4 touchdown passes in a game. Might have had more if you'd kept him in, but by that time the game was pretty well decided. And for that effort, he ends up being the conference offensive player of the week.
Yeah, for sure. He's I've said it, with me and you before, and I've said it to anybody who listens. Sal's awesome. I love the dude to death. He's done a good job. He's a good leader. He's not a me guy. That's really big this day and age. I mean, it's, I always say if you don't care who gets the credit, how far can we all go type deal. And he's kind of that, and so it's nice to get him some touches, get him the ball, let him throw the ball around and show people that he can run for 150 yards on you if you want to let him do that. Yeah. But he can also throw the ball very well and very precise. I mean, he threw 17 passes, completed 10 of them, 4 of them went for touchdowns. And those were balls that were, the reason why they went for touchdowns because they were balls that he put right on the money and beat the coverage, and it was all off the races. So I'm just glad he got that opportunity.
It's definitely unique that he's getting a chance at the college level to be coached by his father, who's your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so talking about Sammy Feaster, yeah, for sure. And Sammy was in this offense with his with his dad in high school because he was my offense coordinator at Glenbrook, and then after I left there, he stayed in his senior year. Coach Feaster coached him, so he kind of knows this offense. They've changed some stuff a little bit. Coach Feaster's made a couple of tweaks and stuff, but he really knows it, and so I think that's helping Sammy. And Sammy came on for us late last year too. If you remember, he had a couple touchdown passes late last year, one against Wayland and somebody else. So it's just, I always say if you stay and you work hard and you're a talented player, you'll end up probably being pretty good before it's all over with. And here's his junior year, and he's kind of starting to pop a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The running game was kind of powered by Devin Briscoe. He had a nice long touchdown run and ended up finishing the game 131 yards on just 12 carries.
Yeah, so I've been saying Briscoe is on another level from what I've seen him be, and that's saying a lot because he was an All-American in 21, and so and he's even better. He's always been a great teammate. He's a great guy, a great teammate, and I'm glad he got his touches the other day. He broke a long run, a 40-yard run, and broke another one later on. Like you said, I guess that's 12 yards a pop or whatever he was getting running the ball, and it's a good day at the office when you can do that. So.
Yeah, you had a couple other guys scored touchdowns, Rashawn West and Mark Dennison. That's kind of a new name.
Yep, Mark Dennison, new name, freshman wide receiver that had a great run around the edge there on a kind of a wing around, if you will. And also, who was the other person that you said there?
Rashawn West.
Yeah, Rashawn. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. An awesome deal. Because, Rashawn played defense for us for 3 years and kind of wasn't, we trying to get him on the field because he's an athlete and he does a lot of stuff right. He's a great kid, a great young man, I should say. And so and to see him break a 60-yarder the other day was nice. I mean, he just outran everybody. It was pretty impressive. So, and this is his first year ever playing running back.
Wow.
This is his first year ever playing running back.
Wow.
And so he's trying to figure it out, and he's done a really good job for us. Just talking about being a team guy, I guess that's probably why we're having a little bit of success. It's just guys that have bought into the team culture. And I hate the word culture. They just care about each other.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the biggest deal. And he just wanted to help the team out. So when we said, hey, man, can you go to running back or fullback? He's like, yeah, I can do that. And so, and he did. And so I'm glad he's being blessed for it. I really am. So he's going to be good. He's going to make some plays even more coming down. He's just getting better and better as time goes on.
For sure. Let's talk a little bit about the defense then. And you had another player of the week, Tyron Young, who had your first interception of the season, ends up being the defensive player of the week for your conference.
Yeah, no, Tyron's a guy that's made a bunch of plays for us. I think in 2021 he was an honorable mention all-conference guy as a freshman. And so he's made a bunch of plays for us over the years, and he's a guy that we don't have to worry about him, Tyron, very much. He does what's right, and just a good guy. And I'm glad he got it. He deserves it. He had a heck of a game. He had 2 tackles for a loss in that game. He fit like he was supposed to in the run game. He also played really well in the pass game. So it was good seeing him get that accolade for us.
And you just continue to see the performances out of the guys that you rely on. Logan Brimmer, big game, tackle-wise for Bubba Reed as well. If there's one area of the defense that it seems like you're still trying to maybe develop a little bit, would be the defensive backfield. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, so this past game, we had 4 DBs out.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's probably why then.
I won't ever say that like going into the week before because I don't want anybody to see this on TV and go, oh, really? But we did. So we had, we had some stuff happen with one player, and then another player had a family emergency and stuff like that. And then we had a couple guys get injured through the week. And so we kind of looked up and we're like, man, we're down four guys. And so we had some freshmen step up and all that. And they got in there. And so towards the end of the game, I think it was more they were gassed and we gave up some of those touchdowns because we didn't have anybody really put in for them.
Gotcha.
And so, but I think they're there. I think, week 1 they showed that they played pretty well. For us, we play so much man on those guys. They're going to hit us with some big plays from time to time.
Yeah.
The thing that I always tell our guys is like, hey, next play, because they have to do that repeatedly because they're hitting one every 6 or 7 that they throw. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm not smart, but that's not a first down every time. So you're really just hoping on a big play every once in a while. And we kind of live by that. I mean, we just want to be aggressive over there on that side of the ball, and we don't want to give anybody anything. And that's something that we always talk about. A lot of times when coaches get around, they say, well, we're going to play this coverage so we can give them the underneath, and we know the underneath stuff's there, and we'll switch coverage to try to stop it. Well, we play man because we don't want to give them anything. Mm-hmm. And so, anyways, it is what it is. But I think they're playing pretty well. And we had one of our guys that, I won't get into why he's not here and all that, but he's having a family, thing going on and all that, and it will get a lot better when he comes back. And we miss him and wish him well, and hope that he's doing all right.
Yeah, there's behind-the-scene things that happen in the course of a season, for sure.
Yeah.
So moving on, you've had 2 home games, 2-0. Now you go on the road in a very challenging road trip to go all the way to Langston, Oklahoma, and take on Langston University.
Yeah, no, and they're ultra talented. We've beat them the last 2 years, but sometimes you watch the film, you're like, I don't really know how we did that, and in the manner that we did last year. They're super good. They're talented again. Like we watched their film, and it's. I was talking a little while ago, but there's a lot of stuff that they do that's really good. So we'll have to be good. We'll have to be We'll have to make sure we travel right and make sure that we do all the stuff that we're supposed to do to secure victory, and then go out there and play. And so that's what we have to do because it's a very good opponent, and it's one that can beat us, and we need to be on our A game.
I think 2 years ago was the game where it was a big upset.
It was.
Here, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you went there last year again.
We went there last year, and we're coming back again. I'll say again, I don't know how the conference came up with that, but we are going back to Langston for the second straight year, so we appreciate that, and a place that they don't lose very often. Yeah. But yeah, last year they had like a battle of the bands going on, and they were just rocking right there on us. We couldn't hear each other think. We had to do all hand and arm signals and all that.
Wow.
And so, it was ended up being a good venue for our players. I think they loved it. They really got into it, and kind of help them, motivate them a little bit. But it's an interesting place to play.
What do you feel like will be the keys for your team this week?
It's always going to be execution. Like for us, we're talented enough to win a bunch of games. We just have to execute and do what we're supposed to do. We need to take care of the ball, maybe cut down some of the turnovers that we've had, and we need to take it away a little more on defense. and then just do our job. If everybody does their job and we travel right, there's a lot to do with that because our travel is so far. That's an 8-hour trip, and so we've got to travel right. We've got to make sure that we stop places and we stretch and move them around a little bit and all that, and just take all that serious and take the prep serious and all that. And then once we get there, relax just like we would do if we were home, and go out and play the game. And so I think sometimes on the road trips, you can get kind of antsy because you start thinking about the game earlier than you would if you were at home. Yeah. And so we have to make that mindset. It's something that we kind of did last year, where it's just like, hey, we're just going to act like we were at home. What would you do if you were staying at LC the night before a game? Well, we hang out with our buddies and we play, PlayStation or whatever the heck we got going on now, right? And so, anyways, I tell them, well, let's do that. Let's do that. I don't want to meet. I don't want to talk to you guys about it a whole lot. Let's just do what we would do at home. And so we'll do that and see if it works again this year.
All right. Do you have a favorite spot that you stop to eat with those guys?
Man, we go. So if it's the pregame meal and we're in a big town and I can find an Olive Garden, we do an Olive Garden pasta station and we get chicken and pasta and grilled chicken, pasta, white sauce, red sauce, and the whole works like that. And if it's in transit and they need a meal, a lunch meal and stuff like that, Chick-fil-A's normally go to. We get some grilled chicken sandwiches, and everybody gets a couple of those, and they seem to like that pretty well.
So. Call ahead and give those workers a heads up.
Oh no, we have to call ahead. That's a behind the scene thing that a lot of people don't realize how much goes on to moving that many guys and feeding them all the time and being on the buses and all that. So it's something that a lot of people don't know, but. Yeah, they fight over the sauce from all those places. Like, Coach, make sure you get us a bag of the sauce. I'm like, all right, we will, man. I'll do my best. So,
well, we wish you the best. I know it's a long road trip, but your guys know how to do this. So, good luck with everything this week.
Sir.
We'll talk with you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's the head coach of the LCU Wildcats, Drew Maddox, here on our Cat Chat with Drew Maddox. We'll see you next week.
Calls up.